College football, college football, college football, college football. I just hit my elbow. What's up, guys? It is Abby with the ball out, and football's almost back, baby. I just love college football. Can you tell? Let me start off by reading the rankings. I have to read it because I can't memorize that. 1, Bama, Oklahoma, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas A&M, Iowa State, Cincinnati, Notre Dame, North Carolina. That's your AP top 10. I know there are like different polls. There's the coaches poll, all that. I am personally doing the AP poll. So let's talk about some of these teams. And I want to start out with Bama. And you know what's crazy about Bama? Actually, it's really not that crazy now that I'm thinking about it. Because truthfully, it's like just what Alabama does. But they lose huge key players every year and just cycle in more talent. It's like Nick Saban clearly just is so good at what he does, and their recruiting and everything. They can lose huge players, which, by the way, would probably destroy many other programs out there. But the way they turn around and just cycle in more just incredible players, cycle never ends. They're just always good. Always. Quarterback Bryce Young, I think, is going to just bring a different dynamic to this offense, a little more dual threat. So I think, although, as you'll probably hear many times throughout this video, I am an Aggie. Bama's going to be fun to watch, but they're always fun to watch. Who am I kidding? They're just good. Okay. Oklahoma. I think it's time I just need to address this, unfortunately. Oklahoma and another team that I shall not be naming are moving to the SEC in 2025. I need a moment. Felt like I needed to address it, but we don't have to talk about it this year because they're still in the Big 12. And I think they're going to dominate the Big 12. Spencer Rattler is way more comfortable. We saw him really come into his shell at the end of last season. I think they're going to dominate Big 12 and just a good defense. But let's get into number 3. Clemson, going to keep this one short and sweet. We all saw Trevor Lawrence was the first overall draft pick last year. Listen, Clemson fans and everyone else, Clemson's going to be just fine. Just fine. All right, how about those Ohio State Buckeyes? Just got rid of Justin Fields in the draft last year to the Chicago Bears. Okay, I'm done. So with that being said, the quarterback spot is a little wishy-washy, but they do, in my opinion, have enough returning talent to stay in the top 10. So at this point, do we just skip Georgia and talk about the only team that truly matters in the top 10? Or just kidding, Georgia will be just fine. JT Daniels will carry the team to be a top contender in the SEC. Per usual, Georgia's always tough. I don't think they're going to have much of an issue this year. Now, Texas A&M. Texas A&M went 9-1 last year. Brutal loss to Alabama, but so close to the playoffs. That was a huge, huge step for the program. So let me start there. Kellen Mond got drafted, so he's now playing for the Vikings. So the quarterback position will be it'll be an interesting one to watch. However, with their recruits and their returning players, I think they're easily going to be a top 10 team all year long. I'm so superstitious. Hopefully, and I think that they have a shot at the playoffs. They must get past Bama. Must get past Bama and LSU. I personally think, in terms of the quarterback competition, freshman Haynes King will be the starter at this point where we are. But we'll see how that plays out. We have a lot of returning players at skill positions, so I think that's fine. The only thing we're going to have to see is we'll see how the offensive line fares. I think that's going to be extremely, extremely important for the Aggies. I am going back to College Station for a game here very soon. Actually, the opening game. And I haven't been back like since college, I think. Maybe once. I'm so excited. The atmosphere there, football aside, the atmosphere there is insane. Yes, I might be biased. But I will say, if you've not been to a Texas A&M football game, and I'm sure a lot compare, it's unreal. Like, I have the chills talking about it. I'm so excited. Okay, so from there we have Iowa State, then Cincinnati, then Notre Dame, and North Carolina left in the top 10. I, again, know there's different rankings, but do you guys agree with the rankings? I do at this point. I think some teams could easily just flip-flop, but I pretty much agree with where we're at with the AP poll. Question. Is it just me, or does Notre Dame, like, you either love them or hate them? I've just noticed that, like, with the fan base. Now that I'm saying that out loud, I feel kind of silly because I guess you could say that about, like, any team. But do you know what I'm saying? No? Okay. Now, before I leave all your lovely faces, let's talk about some teams that I think are underrated. The first one I want to say is Miami. Great offense, keep an eye out. Although they are ranked 14 already, so technically not super underrated, but just a team to watch out for. Coastal Carolina, returning 19 starters. They got a chance. I am just excited for college football to start. Nothing's better than waking up on a Saturday morning and watching college football all day. So excited. So anyway, tell me in the comments, what do you agree with the rankings? What do you disagree with? Who's your underdog? Who's the most underrated, overrated? Texas. Sorry. It was just a little scratch in my throat. But let me know. Let's chat about it in the comments. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's Abby with the ball out. Let's just go watch some college football.